Yo, a bit echo in here. If it's echoey, I'm really sorry. I need to get some like foam padding or something in here, and hopefully this is picking up my voice quite well. We'll see. Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another remake versus original movie review. So I thought it would be apropos to review two My Bloody Valentine films from 1981 and 2009, as tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I thought that would be a good review to do. My Bloody Valentine 1981 is about a small town of, is the town called Valentine in this movie? I think it is. Oh God, I can't remember now. I think it is. The town name changes between the two movies. I think the town name is Valentine in the original. I don't know. But they are trying to celebrate Valentine's Day 20 years after a tragic event in the town mine where a group of miners were trapped in the mine after an explosion happened. They were trapped in the mine after like two supervisors that were above ground like left them to go to the Valentine's Day dance. So one of the miners, Harry Warden, survives in the rubble for like 6 weeks or something like that. And when they finally pull him out, he's crazy from, you know, starvation and being trapped underground for so long. So he goes on a killing spree, killing the people that were responsible / involved that day for celebrating Valentine's Day while they were trapped in the rubble. The original My Bloody Valentine from 1981, directed by George Mihalka. It'll be right here. I have no idea. You guys know how I am. You guys know how I am with last names. Never good. Always comes out butchered, so sorry. Let's start with what I liked about the original My Bloody Valentine. It has a more anti-Valentine theme to it, I feel like. Or at least it's more apparent that it's a Valentine horror film. So I like there's lots of Valentine-ness in it, and then like the whole like slicing and dicing gives it like that anti-Valentine feel. So it's definitely one to watch if you maybe don't really like Valentine's Day as much, or like you're single and you're salty about it and you want to watch people get cut up and killed on Valentine's Day while eating chocolate. That's valid too. I also like that protagonist Sarah, played by Lori Hallier, last names, is more independent in this one. For a movie being about Valentine's Day, you think that they would play up the romance a little bit more, but I feel like it's not played up so much, and I kind of enjoy that, and I like that Sarah is not dependent on either guy. So our main character, TJ, has left town for a while to try to escape, and then he kind of has to come back, and his old girlfriend Sarah has shacked up with his best friend Axel in his absence. So there's kind of like a love triangle thing going on, but I feel like ultimately Sarah doesn't end up choosing either, kind of, for the most part. I really like, there's a scene where the two guys are fighting over her, and she's basically just like, I'm over it, just like leave me the F alone. So I really like that. I like that, you know, she didn't like really end up picking sides. That was cool. And it's a more mysterious ending. I like that they leave, which I'm not going to give away, even though this movie came out a very long time ago, and you've had plenty of time to see it and see the ending. It's much more ambiguous and vague, and we see the motivation of the killer. Like, we're shown what motivated the person who's doing this to go on this rampage. We see that, but it's still left, I'll say their mental state is left up in the air, and I kind of like that. It makes the killer even more scary. Of course, I also like the social commentary of the movie, given the time it was made. So this is 1981, post Vietnam War. So I like that, sorry, itchy nose. I like that the elders of the town have a lot more screen time in the original. And they're always talking about the tragedy 20 years ago, and the tragedy and blah, 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 blah. So you kind of get this idea of they're afraid of the past repeating itself. Maybe, you know, the older generations dealing with the aftermath of the US's involvement in the Vietnam War. They're afraid of like the repercussions of that. So I like that, while the younger folks in the movie kind of just want to get back to normal, and they want to enjoy Valentine's Day, and they want to have fun. Dislikes, there's not a whole lot. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. There is one noticeable slip. Sorry if you can hear that, that's annoying. There's one noticeable slip up, which is kind of odd. The gentleman that plays TJ, Paul Kelman. I looked it up, he was born in the UK, but there's moments where he legit sounds like he is fighting an Irish accent, like real bad. I don't know what was going on there. I might have to watch it like with the commentary, and maybe they address it or something like that, but it's very blatant. And it kind of like takes you out of the movie, not in a bad way necessarily, but like I said, it's not a perfect movie. So why should you watch? You should definitely watch this if you're scared of like the gas mask look. I know a lot, like gas masks are used a lot in horror movies, I feel like, you know, like as a mask for the killer, because it's very mysterious, and it basically takes away a lot of your facial features, which is very unsettling. I think that's why those are so scary, and all you can see really is the eyes, and that's freaky as well. And you should definitely watch it, maybe if you don't like Valentine's Day. So I'll give this a rating of once in a blue moon, when it's actually probably like once a year around Valentine's Day is when I watch this. It's good, I like it. I don't watch it year round though. Moving on to the remake, My Bloody Valentine 2009, which the plot is essentially the same kind of. It's more the Tom, played by Jensen Ackles, who is like the TJ character in this one, has a direct involvement in the tragedy. He was working in the mine when the accident happened, and they didn't say it was due to negligence of superiors too, which is another distinct change. There's just an accident in the mine. Tom makes it out. Harry Warden, again, is trapped in the rubble, and they're stuck down there for a couple of weeks. And when they finally pull him out, and all the others are dead, and then they find out that he murdered them while they were stuck down there, either to like eat and survive, or just because he's psycho or something. So he's in a coma for a year, and then he wakes up and goes on a killing spree in the hospital, where we meet our young folk who are at a party in the mine. Harry Warden shows up and starts killing them, and then Sarah and Axel and their friend Irene get away, while Tom is left to battle Harry Warden, and he's eventually saved by the police. And they presumably kill Harry Warden. And then we go 10 years later again. We jump forward in time again, this time 10 years, where Tom is coming back to town after having run away, and he's gonna sell the mine. And then as soon as he comes back, of course, people start dying again at the hands of a person dressed as a miner. I liked about it. I liked the update, or the facelift, if you will, of the plot. I like how there's less a focus on the older generations. There's still like those older characters that were involved with the tragedy throughout, you know, throughout the plot line. They were involved. So I like that there's more emphasis on the younger generations, and it's more, the fear is more in like who you trust. Like, can you really trust these people that you think you know? And it's less about, you know, the past coming back to repeat itself and stuff like that. So I like that. I think it brings it into 2009. It's not just a regurgitation of the same plot. They tweak it bits here and there while still keeping it relatively the same. And I know I've said this multiple times on this channel regarding remakes. To me, that's at least the best starting point for a remake. You gotta make some tweaks to it to bring it to a modern audience. You can't just spit out the same thing and expect it to have the same effect. It just won't happen. Dislikes, the plot kind of plays like a teen drama a bit. They play up the love triangle between Tom, Sarah, and Axel a bit more. This time it's a bit more complicated because they're a little bit older, I think, than the main group in the original, and Sarah and Axel are married as opposed to just together. But it plays like a teen drama. There's like this shitty plot line of like Axel is cheating on Sarah, but then when Tom comes back into town, he starts getting on her about her still being in love with him and being just straight up fucking awful to her and like blaming her for all this stuff when he's actually cheated on her. And then of course, Axel's love affair interest gets the pickaxe. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. And, you know, then it's all okay. Like, Sarah's okay with it now, and they're, you know, she's okay with being with Axel because, you know, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, what's her face is dead now. So it's really dumb. And that kind of leads me into there's no characters you feel invested in. They're all pretty much shitty people, I feel like. There's really nobody like, in the original, I kind of latch on to Sarah. I kind of consider her a main protagonist that I relate to. In the remake, I feel like there's just nobody you can relate to in that one. So that kind of takes all the fun out of the movie because you don't care what happens to the characters. So why shouldn't you watch? I don't think I can recommend this one more than the original because like I said, you're not going to care about anybody. They're all pretty much shitty, and this movie came out in 3D. So when you watch it, there's all those 3D gags in there, which are outdated nowadays. It's all those, you know, like all those gags where like, you know, Harry Warden throws the pickaxe and it comes flying out the screen at you and stuff like that. Or when somebody points a shotgun and then the nose, or whatever you call it, the barrel, that's it, gun terminology, the barrel comes out of the screen at you, that sort of thing. The gags are cheesy and outdated. I will say though, I bought a used copy of My Bloody Valentine in 3D, and I was thinking like, oh, well, there's probably a way to watch it in not 3D, so I can just watch it normally. I opened up the DVD and there's 4 pairs of old school 3D glasses, and they're like the red lens, blue lens ones, which I might have talked about on this channel before, but I fucking loved it. So in a maybe surprising turn of events, I'm gonna give this one the same rating, once in a blue moon. And what I mean by that is once every year around Valentine's Day I watch it. I definitely don't watch it year round. And the only reason I give it the same rating, even though I like the original more, is because Jensen Ackles. Like, that's the whole reason I went to go see this movie in 2009. I was either a junior or a senior in high school then, depending on, it probably came out in February, so it's probably a junior in high school. Either way, I was like 16 or 17 years old. Hormonal teenager that watched Supernatural and loved Jensen, so that's why I went to go see that one. Right, so I don't think it's any surprise that I'm gonna give it to the original on this one. So if you have a choice between the two, you can only watch one this Valentine's Day. watch the original. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about these two films and which one you would pick if you only had time to watch one this Valentine's Day. Which one would you go for? Yeah. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. Maybe if you're new here and you stumbled upon my channel somehow, hi, welcome. You can subscribe by clicking over here somewhere. It'll pop up eventually. You can follow me on all the social media places down there, and I think I'll add it in. I got Letterboxd. I think that's how you say it, Letterboxd or Letterboxd. I don't know. I got that, and I'll link it down there below. I'm just gonna start from 2016, all the movies I've watched. Starting not 2016, 2017, that's the year, damn it. It's February, I should be used to it by now. Right, anyways, until next time, stay strange.